A huge cheating scandal in Minecraft speedrunning has just come to light. A popular runner who's pulled off some of the most famous Minecraft speedruns of all time was just exposed for splicing 2 different world records, one of which has over 11 million views on YouTube. In this video, not only am I going to dive into the faked runs and how they were exposed, but I'm going to explain a brand new method that the investigators of these runs have found to detect cheated runs, that very well could lead to the exposing of more faked world records from the past. This is the biggest Minecraft cheating scandal we've seen in a long time, so buckle in. This is the story of Nikocraft's fake world records. Before we get into the video, I want to shout out Eliotex and Crafterdark, the members of the community who conducted the investigation into Nikocraft's runs. Their hard work made this discovery possible, and it doesn't go unappreciated. On April 26th, 2019, a Minecraft player named Nikocraft HD uploaded this video to YouTube, and for some reason, it would go on to be the second most viewed Minecraft speedrun this side of Dream, behind only a set seed run by Thunderful that similarly went viral. But it's not the views that made this run special. The former world record at the time of the run was a 4-minute, 46-second run on pre 1.9 set seed glitchless Peaceful by Spoontie. The run was on a very volatile seed that rarely produced good runs due to how many luck factors had to go right for a run to be successful, and no one expected it to be beaten anytime soon. But one day, Nico pulled off this run, destroying the world record and barely eking out a sub 4, right on the edge of what was seen as possible at the time. In particular, it had an essentially perfect end fight, and every aspect of the run was so well done that it became inspirational to a lot of aspiring runners. And on the surface, it's not a suspicious run at all. That's why it was verified without any real hiccups, as especially in 2019, there was nothing to take note of. Fast forward to March 25th, 2022. Over the years, Nikocraft had kept running set seed glitchless Peaceful, and while nothing he'd done had gotten nearly as much attention as his first world record, on this day, he reached the top again, getting a time of 2:49, beating the previous world record, a 2:54 by SSGP legend Poisonous Skelly, by 5 seconds. Again, nothing too noteworthy from a verification standpoint. The run was seen as legit, and that was it. Nikocraft was pretty universally beloved as a staple of the SSGP community, and especially for the impact his 3:59 had had. But in March of 2023, about a year after his second world record, Eliotex started revisiting some suspicious aspects of Nikocraft's runs. This was based on an analysis of the pattern of dragon charges in his 3:59, revealing that the final charge was very suspicious. This wasn't anything concrete, but it was worth taking note of at the very least. However, Nikocraft played his world record runs using Optifine, which prevented the runner from using the tools that could be used to mod the game and control dragon charges. So, with no reasonable method of faking the dragon charges, the mods assumed that Nico couldn't possibly have cheated. But on April 17th, something huge happened. Eliotex found concrete proof that Nico had cheated his 2:49 world record. About 45 seconds into the run, Nikocraft crosses a river, placing TNT under him to speed up his movement. This location is visible from his spawn point. At the end of the run, after the credits roll, Nico is returned to his spawn point. And if you look closely at the river, there's no TNT to be found. There it is, 100% evidence that Nikocraft cheated a world record. And if that wasn't enough, if it could somehow be explained by some ultra-rare world corruption glitch, Eliotex found a second piece of evidence by looking to the clouds. In Minecraft, the clouds move incredibly slowly. In the span of a 3-minute run, clouds will only move about this far. The clouds Eliotex sees when he spawns in after the credits roll are nowhere to be seen when he first spawns into the world. So now we know beyond a doubt that Nikocraft spliced the end fight of his 2:49 onto the overworld segment. His 2:49 world record was a fraud, and the rightful world record holder was Poisonous Skelly. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. If a runner cheats one run, it's only natural for the moderators to take a closer look at his other runs, especially one that shattered everyone's expectations and got 11 million views. So, that's exactly what they did. But at first, there was a total lack of evidence that this run was faked. In order to find the necessary evidence, Crafterdark ended up finding a new method of detecting splices in Minecraft speedruns that had never been used before. Now, actually explaining this method isn't a no-brainer. The fact of the matter is that when videos are released detailing exposed cheaters and explaining how they got caught, it makes it that much easier for runners to get away with cheating in the future, or to at least avoid getting caught in the way that other runners have. There is a world where I say the way Nico's 359 was exposed for being faked is confidential, and you're just gonna have to trust the mods. But luckily for you at home watching this video, the moderators have decided to make this portion of the evidence public, and so I am gonna explain. The most conspicuous feature of Minecraft Peaceful Mode is that no hostile mobs, except for the Ender Dragon, spawn, and any damage you take heals pretty much instantly. With this almost inability to die is a total inability to get hungry. The player's hunger bar stays full at all times. Now, in regular, non-peaceful survival mode, the player gets hungry after taking damage or running for a while without eating. This is due to a feature called saturation, which directly impacts hunger. When a player runs or takes damage, it doesn't directly lower their hunger level, but it lowers their saturation, which in time lowers their hunger. The reason saturation is in the game is because different foods, in addition to having different hunger values, have different saturation values, meaning they'll last with the player in a different way. For example, melon slices and cookies both restore 2 points of hunger, or 1 full leg. But the melon slice restores triple the saturation of the cookie, meaning it will take longer for the player to lose that hunger again if they eat a melon slice than a cookie. Now, in peaceful mode, the player doesn't lose hunger, but they still lose saturation. It just doesn't affect anything. On top of that, they can't gain that saturation back, unless they die and respawn or eat a golden apple. But because they don't lose hunger, it doesn't matter to them. The reason all of this does matter to us is that when the player's saturation is empty, as it is almost all the time on peaceful mode, an animation plays and is triggered every 3.05 seconds. This feature is triggered on the client side, which essentially means that even if the game lags, or even if something unexpected happens, even in special situations such as, for example, a player entering a new dimension, the pattern will continue to happen every 3 seconds in-game, almost entirely without exception. With that in mind, let's take a look at Nico's hunger bar after he enters the end in his 359 former world record. That's not looking good for Nico. Okay, what if there's some sort of exception? Something that happens when you enter the end to cause this delay between the animations triggering. Crafterdark tested this idea by looking at the end entries of 10 different runs by a variety of runners and seeing exactly how long it took for the first saturation animation to happen after entering the end. In 8 out of the 10 runs, it took 3 seconds or less. The other 2 runs were Nikocraft's 2 world records. They each took over 20 seconds. And the only plausible way the animation would take that long after entering the end would be if a runner had entered the end without running around almost at all beforehand, such as if they were playing the end fight over and over with the intention of splicing it together with the first half of a run. So that's it, right? Irrefutable evidence that Nico's first world record, the one that had a huge impact on a lot of people, was cheated. Well, not quite. There is a possibility in the game for the saturation feature to be undetectable. To give the movement of the hunger bar a random look to it, each food piece has a 1 in 3 chance of moving up, a 1 in 3 chance of moving down, and a 1 in 3 chance of not moving at all. So, hypothetically, if Nico got only the not moving chance on every food piece for several animation cycles in a row, we would see no movement. Let's run the numbers. 1 in 3 chance for 10 different pieces with 7 animations that should have happened gives about 1 in 10 decillion odds. That's a 1 with 34 zeros. Personally, that's evidence enough for me, but it's technically not 100% proof. So of course, the mods are going to find more proof. And pretty soon after these discoveries, some analysis of the YouTube video itself, plus Nico's claims about how he put the video together, brought some more suspicion to light. Nico had claimed in the past that he was playing Minecraft in full screen mode at the time of the run, and therefore couldn't overlay LiveSplit, the timer app that speedrunners use, on top of it on his screen. So, he claims he was running LiveSplit simultaneously with the run on a different monitor, as well as overlaying it on top of the run in the video software. He also said that while the real-time part of the timer was recorded live, he edited the in-game timer into the run afterwards for the sake of the video. This is all fairly normal on the surface, but Crafterdark dove into things a little bit deeper. See, if the cheating theory was true, and the run was recorded in 2 pieces, the LiveSplit recording couldn't be live. It would also have to be edited in afterwards. Crafterdark had exactly this in mind when he decided to take a look at the end of Nico's video. Everything fades out, but what if you boost the brightness on the last frame? That's right. The timers are the only things left visible. If the main timer was recorded with the run, it would fade out exactly the same way as the run, and it would be the in-game timer that would stand out for fading differently. Instead, both the regular timer and the in-game timer are separate from the run, meaning they were added in the editing stage. Proof that Nico lied about this run, and further proof that it was cheated. As if that wasn't enough, they took more steps that I won't dive fully into to analyze the timeline of Nico's runs based on the worlds shown on screen at the very beginning of his video, and found that it was likely that he had been replaying the end fight of the run over and over until he got a completion he could splice with the first half of this run. This faked run was skillfully done, although I can't say as much about his second fake record. These timer discrepancies likely never would have been discovered if not for the breadcrumbs Nico had left. But in the end, he forgot about saturation, and the house of cards came crashing down. And so, as the moderators concluded, there's factual evidence that Nikocraft's second world record was faked, and we can assume beyond a reasonable doubt that his first one was as well. This is a blow to the community in a sense, because while Nico isn't an active runner anymore, his first record was inspirational to a lot of people, and was one of the most widely recognized feats to come out of Minecraft speedrunning. But even after 11 million views worth of scrutiny, no one was able to discover the fraud, until Eliotex and Crafterdark. And on the bright side, because of the inventive methods used by these two, there's a good chance more cheaters will be exposed in the near future, ones that have gotten away with their fraud until this point. Another huge shout out to these guys and the whole Minecraft speedrunning mod team for doing what they do. And finally, a huge shout out to you for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like so more people can find the video, and let us know in the comments what videos you'd like to see from us next. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing for more brilliant content. And either way, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.